Sometimes you hear talk of moving the World Championship from the Crucible. It's nights like this that make you appreciate the atmosphere it creates. It is pure theatre.
Judd, he really is a joy to watch.
Ronnie O'Sullivan in vintage form.
Two men who know exactly what it takes to lift our sport's ultimate title.
To be remembered amongst the greats, you have to be winning this event multiple times.
Hendry's obviously on 7 world titles. I've only got 6. It'd be great to have the trophy on the cabinet for another year.
Good evening. Unscripted drama is what it's all about here in the Crucible Theatre. It was on this stage in 1999 that Stephen Hendry won a record 7th world title. Many believed it would never be equalled. And yet tonight, Ronnie O'Sullivan could match him and in the process become, at 46 years of age, the oldest world champion this sport has ever known. And yet, Ronnie's coronation at the Crucible is no guarantee, because if Judd Trump has his way, we could instead be telling the story of one of the greatest comebacks of all time.
Sitting on a 12-5 lead, Ronnie was looking relaxed on arrival.
But if there's one man capable of pulling back a 7-frame deficit, it's Judd Trump.
The ace in the pack, Judd Trump. The one and only Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
The ace needed a flying start, and that's exactly what he got in the opening frame. A century break and some much-needed momentum.
10 out of 10 for that one.
With missed pots and an extended safety battle, neither player was able to stamp their authority on the second frame. But it was O'Sullivan who cracked first. Trump capitalised and looked as if he was enjoying himself at last.
Yep, he's getting confident. O'Sullivan's lack of table time was starting to become a concern for the Rockets fans. No points scored in frame 20, another one to Trump, and an unlikely comeback looking less unlikely by the minute.
With the mid-session looming, O'Sullivan hadn't potted a ball for nigh on 25 minutes. A fumbled plant by Trump gave him his chance.
It's there.
Well, that is an absolutely outrageous pot. The 20-minute break seemed to unsettle both men, but it was Trump who regained the initiative. Some brave potting reduced the gap to 4 frames.
Wonderful.
The tension inside the auditorium was mounting, and so were the missed pots from O'Sullivan.
They're tough.
Yet again, it was Trump who held his nerve. He had now won 5 of the first 6 frames.
Oh, well, gravity took over.
With the 7-frame lead now reduced to 3, O'Sullivan had to stop the rot. Trump gave him his chance and he took it. 14-10 and 1 step closer to his 7th title.
Good pot.
With the match balanced on a knife edge, Lady Luck rode to Trump's rescue, and he took full advantage.
How big a fluke is that going to be?
Another century break, 6 of the 8 frames, and what looked likely to be a coronation has turned into a real fight for the crown.
Well, here he is. Stephen Hendry is still clinging to his long-cherished record for now. But this is no lap of honour for Ronnie tonight, Stephen. Tell us how Judd Trump managed to change the direction of this final this afternoon.
Well, we've seen the shot there, 1 black in the first frame. I was saying, please go for this. It was a very risky shot, but I knew if he got it, he would get tremendous inspiration and confidence from that. And so it transpired. He played a fantastic session.
This is not just a match for Ronnie O'Sullivan. It's a lifetime's ambition to match you. He's been trying to do this over a 23-year period. How heavily do you sense the expectation could have weighed on him?
Well, he deflects it very well. In every interview, he would never admit that he's feeling any pressure. But he's got it everywhere he goes, every exhibition he plays, he's got to have people saying to him, when are you going to beat the record, when are you going to equal the record. So it's there, you can't ignore it.
You, of course, had the same thing when you were trying to beat Steve Davis's record. Do you remember that?
Very much so, very much so. And it's a massive thing. I mean, tonight is, say, one of the biggest nights of his snooker career. You know, I'm sure he'll overcome it. I'm sure he'll cope with the pressure. But he is under pressure now, probably for the first time in the whole championship.
And what's your instinct about what we might be in for tonight, Stephen?
Well, normally when you win the championship, you always have one dodgy session. I'm wondering if that was Ronnie's this afternoon. I expect him to come out fully focused, and yeah, the rocket could set off tonight.
We shall see. There is no one going to be watching this match more closely this evening than 7 times Stephen Hendry. But we're all glued to this, and I'm sure you are at home. It is the grand finale of this year's Betfred World Championship. The players are ready, and so too is our MC, Mr. Rob Walker.
Here we go with the climax of our 17 days in Sheffield. Please welcome Judd Trump. And now, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
So the stage is set. Ronnie O'Sullivan seeking a 7th world title since 2001. Judd Trump trying to become only the 10th multiple world champion here at the Crucible. A possible 10 more frames will sort it all out in this best of 35 frames marathon. And we're in the best of company in the commentary box with an all-Ireland double act. It's good evening to world champions Ken Doherty and Dennis Taylor.
Very good evening, Hazel. A very good evening, everyone. And the reception that both players have got this evening was quite incredible. There's so many stories, and look at that little smile on Judd's face. And it's Judd who's going to get the first frame underway.
Frame 26, Judd Trump to break.
Just waiting for a few of the audience to settle down. Important to get a good break off. And I don't know about you, Ken, but I've got sweaty palms here in the commentary box. Finals night.
Yeah. Good evening, Dennis. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Crucible Theatre. The final between Ronnie O'Sullivan and Judd Trump. And what an atmosphere and an ovation for both players.
Can you lower the sound of your earpieces a little bit, please?
Was not a good one from Ronnie O'Sullivan. If it hits the blue, he could be leaving this red, and he has done. A little bit of a nervy one, hit the wrong red there, so we're sounds of a little bit of nerves from the 6 times champion.
A little bit of noise coming from somewhere. I think the referee just mentioned about the earpieces. Maybe they're turned up a little bit too loud.
Is that a hear aid that's beeping?
Something.
Can you please switch it off? Thank you.
Bleeping slightly. It's such a fabulous theatre, but you can hear every little noise. you wouldn't call it a decent chance because the black was knocked over to the side near the cushion there, and the pink's out of play, so there's 2 or 3 reds available, but far from an easy chance this. And straight away he's finished perfect on the red if he wants to get on the black. The only thing is the black's the wrong side of the table for a left-hander, so he may elect to go for the blue and then split the pink and reds up. No, he wants to get that black, and he's dropped in behind it. And the only problem, he's finished tight on the cushion, so he can't stun it to leave that red that's to the right and to the back. But there's one to the left of the pink. I don't know if he can run through and finish on that.
It's just the fact that it's gone so close to the cushion, he can't hold it for those 2 reds at the bottom of the pack. And that's why there was a little grimace from Judd Trump. Can he run the... Or is he going to try and hold? He may run the cue ball into the pack of reds. Hope to bring out something. It's gone wrong. Yeah, he really needed that cue ball off the cushion. Couldn't hold the cue ball.
Touching ball.
Touching ball, so that's not too bad. He can just play away from the red.
Shot ramp 12.
I expect a little bit of an edgy start in this first frame of this session.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Dennis. I think these open exchanges are so important for both players, and particularly for Ronnie O'Sullivan, because he's being pegged back and there's a bit more pressure on him now. That was a good safety shot. Yeah, momentum firmly with his opponent, Judd Trump. It was a wonderful session of snooker from him this afternoon, winning 6 of the 8 frames. Now, can he swerve around the blue here and the yellow? He's going to be very close. Yeah, he's okay. A little bit of swerve. That's pretty good. Well played.
Mentioned this afternoon, the feature of Judd Trump's game these days. His safety has improved dramatically over the last couple of seasons. That's why he's won so many tournaments. But Ronnie, when he wants to be, is one of the best tactical players in the game. He's hit that a little thin, but everything's safe.
Yeah, I was just so impressed with Judd Trump's character, determination this afternoon. A lot of fighting qualities, which great champions do. And he's given himself a chance tonight, and no doubt about that. Now, first half opportunity for Ronnie O'Sullivan. This long red into the bottom right corner pocket.
That is a wonderful opening long red there. Okay, he's not perfect on the blue, but he's just checking to see if he can get on the red near the pink. It's not straightforward. If that red doesn't go, the one to the left of the black is very awkward to get on, so it's not a decent chance by any means, but this is a player that can soon develop a game in a couple of shots. Oh. I thought he was going to miss that. It wobbled a little bit.
It looked a bit wide, didn't it? Yeah, but that opening red, if anything was going to settle your nerves, it's certainly knocking pots in like that. That red was beautifully cued.
7.
Now, as he got top side of the blue, needs to go the cue ball. May have a slight angle. Just a slight angle.
Well, that was a wonderfully played shot. He had so much side on that. And the white picked up speed, and he's developed a couple of reds. So one more good pot and nice position, and he can give himself a real opportunity in this opening frame.
Yeah, well played.
13.
He's held it for the pink, and he's just having a look at the red. Second red from below the pink spot. I think it will pot into this bottom left corner pocket. Yeah, there you see. It's pretty tight, but it's okay. Can hold for that.
$90. $20.
That's a wonderful positional shot as well, judging it off the side cushion. He can play for a couple of reds now. So important for Ronnie just to re-establish himself. Okay, he's got a 3-frame lead, but he was shut out for a lot of that session this afternoon by his opponent, who played superbly well.
$26. $27.
I mentioned this afternoon, after 17 days, Ronnie looks fresh, he looks focused. And even though he lost that session 6-2, he's come out this evening
34.
and he still looks very fresh and focused.
Yeah, he does, and that was a lovely little shot he played there. Just that little cannon, delicate
35.
little cannon, just holding for that red. And this is where he's at his best. Around the black. Beautiful little series of stuns and follow-throughs and soft screws. Brilliant. His cue ball control is second to none.
42.
Got to be careful here if he nudges the red, but he should be okay. In fact, he can
43.
avoid canning the red. But I think everything's blocking each other into the left corner, and the angle he has on the pink got a bit to do with the cue ball here. And here it comes. How's your luck, Ronnie? That may have looked easy, but that was some shot he's played there.
The amount of spin he had on the ball there. Fizzing it off 2 cushions. That's in. That's okay.
50.
What an opportunity now.
$57. $58.
So he just needs one more red, and while he's doing what great champions seem to be able to do at the start of a session, the king of the
65.
Crucible, Stephen Hendry, used to do this so often. Start
66.
a session with a frame-winning break, and the number of times they made a century, both Stephen Hendry and Steve Davis.
This bit. Sublime break from
73.
6 times champion. He was asked a question.
74.
He's certainly coming up with the answers in this first frame for sure. What a wonderful opening red to start this break. with his cue ball. It's on a string. Beautiful control.
81. $82.
Oh, what a shame the black doesn't go in. But what a start for the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan. He got one opportunity and he made a frame-winning break. And now he leads by 15 frames to 11.
Stephen John with us in the bubble here. He looks in control this evening, gentlemen.
Well, apart from the fantastic opening red, what a pot he played in the middle with the pink. I mean, he's played a little stunt shot. I thought we'd had a position here. What are you going to do? To screw this back with run inside off the two cushions with the pace to get into the reds. What a fantastic piece of cueing that is. Right in the middle, exactly where you want to hit it. Perfect, brilliant shot.
And by contrast to the shake that he must have felt with Judd Trump on his tail this afternoon, how does that compare?
Well, it just shows you that a session can go wrong and you just have to weather the storm, and all of a sudden you come back out again and you can be a fresh, different player completely. And of course he knows his opponent's on his coattails now, so maybe instead of looking over his shoulder, he can compete more like a normal match where the scoreline would be roughly the same. So that was Ronnie O'Sullivan showing his authority at the table straight out the blocks.
It was definitely twitchy this afternoon, wasn't it, from Ronnie's perspective, as Judd was really making a comeback today?
Yeah, it's just an awkward game sometimes. It doesn't matter how good you are. I mean, if the other bloke gets the cue ball and gets a few runs of the ball here and there and you're not quite at it, it can easily run away from you. And Judd played very well this afternoon, has to be said. He looked a lot fresher himself after playing that long match with Mark Williams in the semi-final. It was 17-16, so he upped his game this afternoon. Of that there's no doubt, and Ronnie dipped slightly, it has to be said.
In these best of 35 frame matches, you get to 5, you get to 10, you get to 15. They're milestones, only 3 to go here.
27. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
So Ronnie O'Sullivan breaks off frame 27. Three frames away to equal history here at the Crucible. What can this man do to stop him? He wants to create a little bit of his own history.
Straight away he's looked at that plant. He's coming around to have another look at it. If he takes this on, everything's going to open up. Well, now you can see it, but it's a 4-ball plant he's possibly looking at here. You can see the other red that's away from the bunch. As we pull out, it's just going to the left of the pocket. And he's decided on the loose red, and that's a pretty good choice, I think. Well, it's so unfortunate to land there after that fabulous long red.
Yeah, wonderful, but unfortunate.
Blue ball.
A little bit careless, that one. Look where the yellow's gone. Big target now. Yellow, green and brown to get in behind. And Ronnie's so good at this particular part of the game. Oh, he's hit that far too thin. Can Judd get the cue ball in behind those colours? Needs to miss the brown.
He'd be disappointed with that. It was a big target behind brown and yellow, and now it's an even bigger one. He'd be Expecting Ronnie O'Sullivan to put the cue ball behind those 3 ball colours here. A little bit short of pace. Has he got the cover? I don't think so. Just about on that red.
Certainly knocking a few long ones in that he hasn't been doing throughout this year's Betfred World Championship, because he's been relying on his B game, which has got him through some of the matches. He's missed a few long ones, but if he starts knocking those in, he's going to be dangerous. Now, how's your luck here, Judd? It's okay, I think. Depends on the one next to the pink. He's a bit unlucky, you know. In fact, he's very unlucky if that one doesn't go. Couldn't have hit this any better.
Yeah, this red does pot into this bottom right corner pocket, but it's a very acute angle. He's bridging over a couple of reds. There's the 2002 world champion Peter Ebden. Great to have him along this year. Of course, he was helping Jack Blazowski out. Made a wonderful run to the quarterfinals.
And there's Bond. The name's Bond. Nigel Bond, who's retired this year. Wonderful ambassador for our game.
This time the cue ball is looking good behind yellow and brown, and that's a wonderful safety shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan. And there's no gap. May try and drop on this red just behind the black on the top cushion, just off one cushion just before the middle pocket on the right. It's a delicate one, doesn't want to go by it.
Looks perfect, this. This is not easy to get side on it when you're swerving it like that. That could go wrong that way. And Ronnie knows that. That's why he's changed his shot. If he's looking at this long red into the left corner, well, he certainly looked at it, but this is so tough. If it's just off straight, this would be an unbelievable pot. Oh, what a shot he's taking on here. Oh, what a shot. Well, that's up there with the shots of the championship, it has to be said. To pot it, but to screw the white back like that, brilliant.
What an amazing shot. Not many players in the game could actually play that shot. He's blessed with timing, cue par, Judd Trump. And he got perfect position on the blue as well.
6.
Played that nice, played for the red left to the black, so that will Open the black now when he puts this into both corner pockets and sort of free up that area a little bit. Oh,
7.
Need that cue ball to go through just a fraction more. He's slightly hampered by this red. Oh, that's amazing, Dennis. Fractions, just fractions. Anywhere but hampered on that red, and he was perfect.
Yeah, when you're bridging over the ball like that, it's so easy to get a little bit of unwanted side on it.
Well,
that's a wonderful chance again now. These all should have been Judd's. In this game, when you miss and you go back to your seat, you've got to just watch your opponent knock the ones in that you should have had.
8.
But that's why it's such a tough sport.
Nine.
Playing for the pink into the left corner. He'll just leave the cue ball almost exactly where the pink is now. Just stop it dead. Perfect. The red into the opposite corner. And what a chance this is. Judd won't be so disappointed
15.
with that opportunity.
16.
Penny for your thoughts.
$23. 24.
I must say, Dennis, though, Ronnie does look very calm and very composed. He was put under a bit of pressure. There was a few little signs that maybe just getting to him, but looks like a different player already
31.
this evening.
$32.
Well, he had a few hours to talk with a few friends, and I think Steve Peters is here. So they'll have chatted about things, and he's come out, as we said, looking very fresh.
39.
And he's up for the job of winning his 7th world title.
40. $47. 48.
He's on 15 centuries at the moment. He'll make sure of the frame first. He's already 33 in front.
55. 56.
Yeah. 43 at the moment. Black will be 50 with 51 remaining, so just one red, and it looks like it's going to be a formality. Quick glance at
63.
the score. 51 ahead, so.
64.
Pretty much straightforward. What a start from Ronnie O'Sullivan here, Dennis.
Well, he's taken all Stephen Hendry's records, with the exception of
71.
the number of world titles he's won. Stephen Hendry has made 16 centuries in the World Championship one year, equalled by Mark Williams this year. And Ronnie, if he can make a century here, will join that elite group.
79. 80.
Nice shot, leaves himself a nice angle on the pink that he can bring that yellow into play. Little delicate shot, beautifully played. The possibility of another
86.
Record equaling break here if he gets the century. Oh, has to go around the table. Well, he's going to play the green in the centre. Oh, such a shame. But a wonderful break of 88 from the 6 times champion of the world. He edges closer to the elusive 18. He leads Judd Trump now with 16 frames to 11.
And there's a real tide of momentum with Ronnie O'Sullivan now, isn't there? And I wonder what Judd Trump can do to slow him up here this evening. It's one-way traffic, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, for most people, that would be tense moments coming out, trying to protect a leave, but not for the demigod, which is Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's come out there like he's playing in the club.
It's extraordinary change, isn't it?
Yeah, what a performer. I think of all the players we see, he's the person who can handle the big occasion better than anybody else in the game.
Is there any stopping him now for you, John?
Well, there isn't if you have a chance like Judd in the last and he's missed the black. I mean, he's got just lost position. He's ended up having to queue over. I mean, I know this isn't easy and he's in the world final, the rest of it, but simply the chance he had, he's got to score off there, and he knows that himself. And once he's missed that, there's just an inevitability about it. He's going to come to the table and they're all going to be gone because he's playing like, as I said to Steve, he's just playing like he's in the club. Just like having a little practice session, and he's in his own little world and he's going, these are the balls and I know where to go and I'm going to take them all and these will be gone.
You can never take anything for granted, clearly. You guys have been in so many finals between you, but at 16, how much do you start to relax and reach for the line?
I think you're in a position of being pretty comfortable and you can just play. Just let the play take care of itself. You've got enough breathing space that unless the wheel completely falls off, you're okay. You feel like maybe the other guy's got to start going for more and more shots, and you're happy about that because you may miss one, and then you're in amongst the balls for another easy chance.
He's moving closer and closer to equaling Stephen Hendry's record of 7 world titles. Back we go. This is frame 28.
Judd Trump to break.
Judd Trump needs a frame to take us to a mid-session interval. 2 more frames to be played. Can he get the chance? This Crucible crowd, what a few frames I've seen here, and he can get on this red at the back of the bunch here. And after the next shot, there could be quite a few more reds in play. It just depends on the angle he has here, but the opening pot, once again, brilliant. Very well controlled as well. There's 2 reds still available, but this was a cracker.
He looks amazing, those few shots. The blue into the yellow pocket as well. Screwing back for that bottom red. As John Parrott says in the studio, he looks like he's just playing in the local snooker club. Not a care in the world. Amazing. What a talent. What a genius.
Just this one more loose red, but the way he's playing, you wouldn't bet on those reds being opened up.
21.
Sure. Very shortly, just asking the referee to respot the pink, so that tells us maybe he's not on this red. It's very tight. No, he's going to have to bend that. So that was a little slip up there.
Thank you. 21.
Yeah, mistake from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Not happy. It's okay. He hasn't left a possible pot. Ronnie O'Sullivan, if he plays the red into the pack of reds, he's just got to be careful that a red doesn't pop over this bottom left corner pocket. He's played it nicely. Very nicely indeed. Excellent shot.
Well, you can't pot them if you can't see them. Excellent. Very good from Judd Trump there.
Yeah, brilliant response. So difficult when the red is so close to the top cushion.
We did look to see if that red would pass the pink, but don't think it does. Well, it does, but what a shot that would be if he took that on and tried to get on the black. This will lift the roof if this comes off, but it's very risky.
Yeah, I think the red that's on the left-hand side cushion is slightly in the way also. May take it on. He's going to avoid that red on the left-hand side cushion. Oh, he got a heavy contact there and it's rolled off. That is very unlucky. He's got a slight heavy contact on that red. You could hear it even here in the commentary box. And watch it just roll towards the left-hand side. That's in from there. Just watch it veer offline slightly. Very unlucky.
Sure.
It was a great effort, but this opening pot may look quite straightforward, but he's got to get a little bit of action on it. And the harder you hit them sometimes, in fact, he's going for the one for the middle pocket.
One.
That was a much better shot, positional wise. As long as he's not dead straight, and he's not. He's much closer to this red, which
6.
makes it a lot easier than it was previously. But that can happen with that type of shot. I still expected him to knock that in, but misjudgment there.
Yeah, particularly the way he was playing it, trying to get the cue ball out off the cushion. When they're so tight to the top cushion, he might have been better off playing that with running side as opposed to check side, as we say. Playing it right hand side. Now needs a split here, Judd Trump. Oh. Well. The snooker gods have gone against him so far this evening. Judd Trump, he's had no luck.
Judd Trump, 8.
Well, he simply just got to win this frame somehow. Judd Trump, 17-11. Well, you wouldn't give him much hope, but if he can somehow just manage to get this one still in with a shout. You always feel, as long as your opponent needs 2 frames, no matter what you're behind, you always feel you've got a chance.
Yeah, Ronnie's been a bit fortunate there. That red could have been possibly potted into that left corner pocket, but it's come over and it's even blocked the other one. It's tight on the cushion. He does have the red that's closest to the yellow into the top left-hand corner pocket, but a lot of pressure on this. Oh, wonderful shot and great pot. Right in the heart of the pocket.
It's still awkward though.
5.
3 reds on the cushions and the 5 reds are all covering each other. So he's already working out the angle. And straight into the pink would, I don't think there's any plants on. Big shot coming up.
6.
He's got to be very precise with this. If he doesn't hit the pink full ball here, left or right of the pink, and he may not disturb any of those reds, so that's why he's having a good look at it here, and he's got to be careful. I'm going to hit the pink, but not with too much pace. Doesn't want to lose the cue ball. Yeah, it's a delicate little shot. Now, how's your look? It's okay. I think he's got a red into the left corner.
11.
Oh, it's tight, but I think it pots.
$18. 19.
3 more comfortable reds and 3 more awkward reds. It's not a straightforward run to the winning line in this frame.
26.
Yeah, I think those 2 reds that are on the top cushion play a major part in this frame. He has an angle to try and maybe bring the one that's closest to the corner pocket and could play into that, but he's not going to this occasion. Coming back for the loose reds.
34. 35.
To play the cannon onto those reds, he needs to be over the left side of the table as we look at it.
42.
It'll be much better. Has he left the red a little awkward to do that? He has. No, he could just manage to run through, and this was the side that was going to give him a better chance to develop one of these reds. That's okay. He's going to need the other one, and he'd love to get nicely in behind this with a little bit of angle. The one just behind the black and to the left. And he wanted to get close to it, and this looks pretty good. Brilliant shot.
That's a wonderful touch. And just have a look at the scoreboard. He's 37 ahead, so just needs this red. Doesn't have to do too much with it. Natural angle will bring the cue ball off the top cushion. It's there.
57.
And once again, make sure the black will put him 45 ahead, but just 35 remaining. And it's been a wonderful break.
64.
Well, we definitely are going to get a mid-session interval
and
as Ronnie O'Sullivan stays in the seat. It was a must-win frame for Judd Trump, and he's still battling away there, but it's still a long way back. Ronnie O'Sullivan now leads 16-12.
And I wonder whether the return of the long potting success for Judd Trump has just arrived too late. He's been searching that mysterious and missing part of his game for a couple of days now, John.
Yeah, it's happened probably through the tournament. He's been okay when he's been rolling the ball in and he's been playing with, you know, plain ball and coming around the back. But when he's had to punch anything, go play with a bit of power, he's just been off point a little bit. But that's an absolute corker that's in the yellow pocket. And the 3 long pots he's taken tonight have all gone right in the middle of the bag. So it's great. It misses a really tough shot. And he cues this beautifully straight through the middle. And look at that, doesn't even touch the leather, straight in the middle of the pocket. So it was a brilliant, brilliant shot.
You've been talking about the cue action of Judd Trump. He's been talking about it a lot, actually, during this championship, and saying that he reckoned it was the worst on tour. I think he does himself a great disservice there. But it's unique, and it's very difficult to reproduce session after session, and that's the point.
It is, but when he's hitting the ball well and with authority, it's not the issue. You know, you don't win 5 ranking events in a season if he's got bad cue action. He's a great talent. But on occasions, if it goes astray, it seems to go very much astray. But under control, he's okay. Great blue to get on the second last red. Really killed off that frame in one visit there. It was beautiful. And he's got plenty of heart and he's fighting. He can do no more than keep in the match and hope that his opponent falters near the finishing line. You
know, he talked about his expectations coming to the Crucible this year, and he didn't have many. He'd even been talking about trying to take a break here. So when he turned up, how laudable is this run to the final under those circumstances?
The thing is, he used a game, Hazel, to get into the final here that a few seasons ago he couldn't do. I mean, his B game, honestly, his match play has got him right the way through this championship. I mean, even the early rounds, I mean, from 8-5 down to Stuart Bingham in the quarter-final, he started playing some really rock-hard match play. And although he wasn't at his best and didn't have his A game, it was very difficult to play against and highly functional. And that's got him here. He just hasn't had that little burst.
The flamboyance has been his trademark all of this time. Everybody remembers 2019 and that incredible final he played against John Higgins, 8 frames in a row, playing the most amazing shots. But his all-round game, how would you rate it now in comparison to where it was 3 years ago even?
I think he's a lot higher, he's a lot more mature player, and he plays on inspiration, and if he gets a bit, he's always dangerous.
So, last frame before the mid-session interval. Interesting chat from the 2 boys in the studio, Steve Davis and John Parrott, talking about Judd Trump's long ball, and certainly he's come back, put some great long balls already this evening. needs to slow up this red. Has he left it? Has he got the cover on the brown? Ronnie's had an anxious look. He has got the cover. I'm just wondering, would he attempt the cross double into the opposite middle pocket? It's a dangerous one. He may have a look at it. He's having a look at it. Worth to go?
Yeah, definitely, because he's got to remove that red. He can't play a safety shot and leave it there. And there we go. In fact, he played it too well. Well spotted by Ken and well executed by Judd, but this brown, boy, is this tough. That was tough.
One.
But he's an inspirational player, as we say, and he's not going to refuse something like that. He's got to make something happen, and he did in the previous frame. But that was a tough one.
Yeah, he's going to go for it, isn't he? That's his policy. I don't blame him for it. 9 times out of 10, you'd fancy him to pot the brown. Now, so difficult to break the reds from the black.
8.
I wonder will Ronnie stay in the black or go for blue here? He's going to stay on the black, but
9.
This requires an awful lot of top spin into the pack of reds. Not guaranteed to get one out here. I think he might have been better going up for the blue off that red, Dennis.
Yeah, I was with you, Ken. 16. Yeah, he could have got up on the blue, and we know how good he is at going straight into the pink. That's a difficult pack to split from the black. Is he going for a double? Yeah, not quite though.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 16.
Well, he had an anxious look to see if he left the red into the left middle pocket. If he has, that was the wrong choice of shot. Should never have been going for the double. You've got to guarantee you get it safe, and he's just overscrewed that a little bit, and he's left this pot on. Now, where is this going to finish up?
Oh, he's a long way away from that pot, but have a look at what happened. Red hits the cue ball and knocks it into a position where Ronnie can have a go with this red. He's got it.
1.
He's so natural when he switches hands. A lot of the time people, they don't realize he's done it.
8.
You know, he's so good with his opposite hand.
9.
Well, it's not ideal. It's not a great angle on the blue. And that's why he's coming around to see about the possibility of taking the red up into the top left-hand corner pocket, the yellow pocket as we call it. The angle on the blue into the reds wasn't good enough.
$14.
Oh, wonderful shot. He just cued that, didn't he, Dennis? Didn't hit it with any pace or power. Just trusted his cue action. Lovely shot. Now the split. How's it? And how's your look? How's your look? I think it's good. I think it's very good. What a shot.
Wonderful split, but he's a little unfortunate as we see it again. Didn't want to hit the pink that time, but the black won't go into the left corner, which makes that red into the right corner pretty awkward for a positional point of view. He's going to have to power this one. And that's a great effort.
21.
Well, he potted the blue up into this green pocket earlier on this evening, and it went into the left-hand side of the pocket. It wobbled, didn't it?
You know, I think he might take the brown because he's having to lean over this red. So he's looked at the blue, he's had a look at the brown. It's a much more difficult pot, but he's no, it's okay. The red's not in the way, so definitely the blue. And if he can go to the mid-session interval, leading 17-12.
26.
He's got
27.
Plenty of chances to clinch the match, so important visit this.
He just looks so relaxed, so cool.
34.
As I said, at times in this afternoon session, he
35.
looked a little bit nervous. It's understandable, of course. He's on the precipice of history, glory, and of course equaling 7 times Stephen Hendry's record here at the Crucible.
I remember speaking with him
42.
when he won 3 world titles, and he said, no, I'll never be able to get to Stephen Hendry's record. I said,
43.
You've got to be joking. And just to avoid that cannon was judged to perfection there.
50.
Wow.
51.
You'd think it's just a matter of time now after the mid-session interval.
Yeah, well, this is an important frame, isn't it? Frame's over. He's only going to be 1 away. I'm not quite sure what he knows
58.
about the record or equaling the record of century breaks. I don't know whether that's on his mind
59.
or not. But he could do it here as well into the bargain. As Dennis said earlier, he's got 15 centuries at this year's World Championship. The record is 16 by Mark Williams, who achieved that this year, and Stephen Hendry when he
66.
won his last World Championship back in 1999.
67.
He's going to need to bring this red below the pink out into play, a little cannon. It's okay. So it's still on.
74.
The crowd sense that as well. They know the records are possible. Wow, has he?
75.
Unlucky.
Well, it's such a shame. The century is not there, the record is not equal, but more importantly, Ronnie O'Sullivan is 1 frame away from becoming champion of the world for the 7th time. He goes into the mid-session interval. He leads Judd Trump now by 17 frames to 12.
And there's certainly an air of inevitability about proceedings now, guys, and I think we should probably turn our minds to what this fella has achieved. This is a 21-year quest. He's not over the line yet, but he's so close to a perfect symmetry. 7 UK titles, 7 Masters, and potentially here a 7th world title. 21 major titles. It's extraordinary.
You won't see the likes of it again. You simply won't. You won't see anybody like him again. I mean, he's the best player I've ever seen in my life. When he plays, his cue ball control is on another level. At his best when he plays, and he's at his best, it's on another level to everyone who's played this game.
You know, you ruled the 80s. Stephen ruled the 90s with a 7 in a 9-year burst. This guy's taken 21 years and 30 in total since he first turned up at the Crucible in 1993. How do you assess his ability to manage and indeed to adapt his game over these years?
Well, he's playing in a field of players that is far stronger than the field of previous generations. And for him to win maybe 7 World Championships with so many great players. May have needed more years for that to happen, but the longevity that he's shown has been incredible, because it didn't happen for me, didn't happen for Stephen Hendry. So I think it's remarkable what he's achieved, and he's kept to his guns. Obviously there's been peaks and troughs along the way. It's tough dealing with a professional sport and having to deal with your life as well. But you know, when you look at it, he's done brilliantly well, you know, to cope with everything. And let's face it, he's the person everybody wants to ask questions of, so along the way he's had to deal with all of that on his shoulders as well. So, but he's got the talent. And he's also, the thing that we don't really, the pressure he withstands playing the game is astonishing.
He's also got the application and the appetite. I mean, don't listen to me, he doesn't practice. He works like a Trojan in that club where he goes. He's putting the hours in. He might come out, oh no mate, I don't care and all that. He is in there grafting. He puts the hours in and he wants to win.
He does indeed. OK, well, it's nights like these in professional sport that we all live for. Unscripted drama on occasions like this are what we all love watching at home, and indeed being part of in a studio like this. But there's always a winner and there's always a loser. And treating those two imposters, triumph and disaster, just the same, is easier said than done.
Ladies and gentlemen, your World Snooker Champion!
Absolutely devastated to lose, because it's what you dream about.
Devastation. I could taste it, I could feel it, but it was gone.
Wanting the ground to swallow me up.
Yeah, it hurt. I mean, it's a World Championship. It's mine. Nobody should take it away from me.
But when winning does become the only thing, I think you become very vulnerable, because if you don't win, you find yourself very quickly in a very precarious position.
The 2015 final affected me greatly. The loss. I wouldn't use the term depression, but it sent me spiralling. To get so close and lose it's heartbreak.
That was a tough defeat to take, especially from looking as if you could have maybe got one hand on the trophy. I just ran out of steam, and Mark got his claws round about my throat and never let go. That was a tough final to take. Yeah, that was a tough one.
Peter Ebden made a great fight of it.
17.
Dot has dashed Ebden's hopes.
Losing to Graham was tough, and yeah, absolutely devastating. And you know, in your mind, in your professional business, a professional capacity, it's like the end of the world. And that's one of the harsh realities that you have to live with as a professional sportsman. More often than not, your best on any given day isn't going to be good enough.
People say you've been to 9 finals, but the wins are obviously the wins, but the 2 losses I don't even think about.
Before the last frame started, all you're wanting is one chance, and I got 3, and I didn't take them, and I deserve to lose.
It's all about winning. You know, being runner-up doesn't matter at all. So they could basically take them off the record if they want from me, just leave the 7 wins.
If I don't win, that's still okay. It's not what I want, but it's still okay. So that fallout, if you do lose, is far less. Winning or losing, if it has too much of an impact on you as a person beyond the table, then that can be a problem. So you need to manage that very carefully.
All I've ever wanted to do is to become world champion, same as everyone who plays a sport. That's all they want to try and achieve. So to be standing there seeing John pick the trophy up was gutting at the time. It's just not to be. Hopefully I can come back next year and give him a better shot. If it wasn't for me losing in that final for John, I probably wouldn't have achieved what I've achieved here in Sheffield since then. Not winning it sort of made me even more hungrier to try and work harder on the table, I suppose.
I come away from that and thought, that ain't going to happen again. I'm not saying I won't ever lose, but I'm just saying it won't ever be played like that again, you know what I mean? I would always turn it around, play it on my style, and if I lose, no problem, I can live with that.
seen him pick up the trophy, that wouldn't have made no difference to me. You know, not like that. I'm not worried about, oh, look at him there picking that up. That should be me. I've never been like that. I never will be. I got there the year after then and won the tournament, so that losing to him there must have given me a bit more experience, and when it come round again, to handle it better.
To get to a final, you've done so many things fantastically well, and let's not lose sight of that. Let's look at areas where it didn't work out and what can we do about that. How can we start to move forward? I think a big thing as well is making sure that you're staying true to your own personal values as to why you do the sport, what you get from the sport, what's important to you.
I love the game, I love being involved in the game, and I've had some great experiences in the game. I've had some great wins, I've had some great losses as well. I'm very lucky that I've got my name on that cup, and you know, there's a lot of names on that cup since 1927, and Ken Doherty from Renlet in Dublin is on it, and I'm happy about that.
John Parrott concedes. He's satisfied with 63,000.
I've always been pretty good at never being too high when I won and not too low when I got beat. My father said, well, unlucky son, we know you went at your best and what have you, and you played one of the greatest players ever to play, and you've come second in the world. He said they give you a nice check and you go and go on a holiday. He said, go and enjoy yourself and forget about it. He said, next time you're there, you'll know more about it. It's 17 hard days. I take my hat off to all the multiple champions. It's such a hard thing to do, and for those to do it more than once is an unbelievable achievement, but I'm glad I did it once.
And Dennis Taylor concedes.
I was a bit devastated at the end of the match against Terry Griffiths, but you're disappointed for all your family and friends, and yeah, it was very, very, very disappointing at the end.
He's done it.
50-odd years playing snooker, as that one moment when that final black disappeared. That's your dream when you turn professional, is to be world champion.
Steve, it's a pretty tough moment, this one, isn't it?
Yes. You get a microphone shoved in front of you, you're just sort of reeling in the moment. You've got adrenaline pumping all around your body, and then it's all over like that. And that's quite a strange thing to happen. And obviously, one person's elated, the other person isn't.
Can you believe what's happened tonight yet?
Yeah, it happened in black and white.
I don't think losing made much difference or winning made much difference. It didn't really have that much of an effect on how I felt about the game and myself. The best thing is that you love the game, you love practicing, and you love getting ready for the events and enjoy the competition. If that can be your reason for being a sports person, then I think you've probably got the right balance. Winning and losing, yeah, that's a sort of byproduct, strangely.
Absolutely fascinating piece, isn't it? I've got another quote for you guys from Serena Williams, who's got 23 majors, by the way. I think Ronnie and Rafa, if Ronnie pulls this off, might be chasing her records. I really think a champion is defined not by their wins, but how they can recover when they fall. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's a fair comment, and you've got to love the game, I think, to come back for more punishment, and most of us do. You know, we enjoy it so much. It's been a great game. It is only a game.
Yeah.
But even so, when it gets to this level, the excitement is what it's all about, and that's the adrenaline drug we're all on. What
do you learn from defeat, do you think, exactly?
You get experience. You do get experience from it. You think, I won't go back and do that again. Some of them are horrible to take. The car journeys home are horrible. But I have to tell you that the thing I miss more than anything, apart from the fact that I used to be good and now I'm useless, is I actually loved going to the club every day. I loved having a rip in my jeans where my chalk was. I loved being in there for 6 hours every day, having a chat and grafting and putting the hours in. I had a purpose every single day in my life to get up and go and play this wonderful game.
Absolutely. Hear, hear. If you've watched every one of our, 72 programmes, 180 hours worth of television over the last 17 days, you're probably in dire need of some fresh air. But you've probably seen some amazing shots, and for John Parrott's money, these are the top three.
He wanted to give this Crucible audience a century here. He'll have to pull off some kind of shot to keep it going. Something like that! What a pot!
It's a great effort. What an effort this is. What a shot he's played there. Goodness me. Absolutely unbelievable cue ball control. To hit it like that, Joe, how good was that? Well, you won't see many better shots than that.
He's played it in and out of balk. Where's the line of the cue ball? Is it going to run? Is it going to run? What a shot! Oh, it's just frightening. It seems he's not a safe ball on the table.
Well, he's not in this final, but he's certainly won one of the men of the championship this year in 2022. Now, there are about 1,000 seats here in the Crucible Theatre, and frankly, you could have sold every single one of them several times over for every single session this year. Demand has been absolutely through the roof. So the question has been, why wouldn't you take this championship away from the Crucible to a bigger venue? On the other hand, what price history created over 45 years in this beautiful theatre? To paraphrase The Clash at their finest, should we stay or should we go?
There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain, when I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Well, come on and let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
The World Championships has this mystique called the Crucible. Live from Sheffield to 500 million viewers around the world. So to get an extra few hundred people in, financially academic. The big brand is the broadcast value to all those countries around the world that go, wow, jaw-dropping. The last chapter of an Agatha Christie novel.
Oh no! Would you believe it?
It's just a very unique venue here at Sheffield, and when you get into the venue it's tight and there's a rabbit warren around the back. It's nothing like the people see when they go in the auditorium, but there's just something about the place that's very special.
I think the place is too small. I don't enjoy it here. I've said it from day one. Nelly Pali's better, 100%.
Having been at Ali Pali and at the Masters and had the atmosphere and see how big it is there, I think something like that could be really good for the sport.
If they wanted to play somewhere larger, then we go there, because it's, you know, it's the sport we're going to watch rather than the venue.
This venue is too monumental to change it, and everyone knows Sheffield as the home of snooker.
It gets quite rowdy at Ali Pali.
Yes, we have massive crowds at the Masters, and it's a brilliant event. But it's a completely different event to the World Championship.
The great thing about being at the Crucible is all those great players that have graced this wonderful arena. Just a wonderful atmosphere that the Crucible holds.
You get the butterflies, it's full of nostalgia, you just feel the history. And I believe the whole setup of the Crucible is part of the test of being a world champion.
Please tell me he's not fluked it. Please tell me he's not fluked it.
Why sort of change something that's not broken?
because I'm sat in my chair and I can literally, you know, the one fella's there, do you know what I mean? I can just touch him there, you know, and you forget that, and I think that's what adds to that atmosphere and the tension when it builds.
I really like it to be in the Crucible where 1,000 people create that great atmosphere. You're close to the players, everybody has a good look on the table, it's really special.
It's always been in Sheffield at the Crucible. It's one of the things that puts Sheffield on the map, and I think it would be a shame to move it around just for the sake of innovation.
The best of the best playing their snooker game in such an iconic venue. There's nowhere else like it, really.
Stephen Hendry has proved once again that he's the best player in the world.
My favourite memory of playing at the Crucible is dominating the place in the 90s.
I think Neil actually made a really good suggestion where he said you could maybe make this a one-table venue and have like another venue with another one-table venue in Sheffield.
All I was saying is that kind of give all the players that one table kind of feel where you have another venue like Centre Court and Court 1 at Wimbledon, and then maybe have like the top 8 play their opening round at the Crucible.
If they could do certain things to make it sort of more up-to-date, boxes, more hospitality, that kind of thing, if they could somehow squeeze it in there, then this venue would be perfect.
Would I like a new Crucible built in Sheffield by Sheffield City Council that holds 2,000 people instead of 900? Absolutely.
There's no other venue in sport can create an atmosphere and the noise that the Crucible does.
The whole place here at the Crucible erupting for this very popular Irishman.
You just get the feeling that if the final wasn't played at the Crucible, it just loses that little bit of spark that has made the game over the last 45 years.
John Higgins, champion of the world and world #1.
I just love the place. I would never really want to see it move. I would love it to stay here.
I think they should keep it here for as long as they possibly can. Keep it forever.
If it was up to me, keep it here. It's the home of snooker. You think of the World Championships and you think of Sheffield.
The Crucible would be a great venue regardless for snooker, but it's the World Championship. So that just magnifies the situation. And I don't think it would be the same anywhere else. That place is made for the World Championship.
In my lifetime, however long that may be, there'll be no changes. And after me, son Edward will be here with a little note in his dad's will which says, Crucible, we're staying.
Oh, a lovely line from Barry. Well, we're here certainly till 2027, and that's the 50th anniversary of the first championship staged at the Crucible. John, it's tight, it's too small, and it's home.
Yeah. I said it on a quote one time, it's too small for television, it's too small for the players, it's too small for the crowd, and the sum of its parts makes it the best venue you'll ever play in.
In agreement?
Yeah, it's like a TARDIS. Things happen in here that wouldn't happen anywhere else.
Yeah, it's true. And what for you is the essence of this place that would be just too tough to replicate in any other venue?
Well, its tightness is one of it, and I think the early rounds, I mean, I don't actually entirely agree with what Neil was coming from there. I mean, he's entitled to his own opinion, absolutely, but you should earn the right to get to the one-table situation here. That's my own view of it. You play the early rounds with the divide down the middle, and your reward should be that one table from the semi-final onwards. It's a bit like, I mean, I hate the semi-finals of football being played at Wembley. They should be at Villa Park and Old Trafford, and you should earn the right to go to Wembley for the final.
That's a completely different discussion, John. For you, what's the essence you would bottle if you wanted to create another venue?
Atmosphere, and I don't necessarily think you can. Okay, yes, it's the World Championship, so there's always going to be something special about it. But this place, it's, in a way, you know, everybody says it's too small. Maybe it's not. Maybe this makes it. This size, it's the hottest ticket in town for snooker. Yeah, it's tough to get the tickets, but it's a pilgrimage for everybody.
It is, and they come from far and wide for nights like this to watch these guys. And as you know, Ronnie O'Sullivan needs one more frame for a slice of snooker history. Here they come. So who better to take us through the rest of this contest than the 7 times champion of the world, Stephen Hendry, and John Virgo. All yours.
Thank you, Hazel. And Here we are, the climax of 17 days
Thank you.
of the Betfred World Snooker Championship at the home of snooker, the Crucible Theatre. And yes, it's an honour to be sat next to the 7 times champion of the world, Stephen Hendry. And, well, Judd, in a position where you can't really fancy him, but he's made comebacks before in this match, particularly this afternoon. But surely Stephen now can't afford one mistake.
No, not at all. He's got to play perfect snooker now to stay in this match. And as we've seen before the interval, it's all-out attack. If he sees a pot, he's going to go for it. He's had chances in every frame tonight, Judd Trump. It's been a little bit unfortunate, but then he did have that outrageous fluke in the last frame of the afternoon, didn't he? So it's been to and fro in the run of the ball throughout this match, as it does in a multi-session match.
That will depend on the potting angle of this red. Can he drop it in for the black? Because it only goes into the opposite corner. Didn't have the natural angle. There was a big sigh from Judd. Did he give a heavy contact? Is that why he kissed the second red? Yes, bit of a bounce, wasn't he, when cue ball met object ball. This black is still potable, but it's tough.
Well, again, it's just those little flicks. And if he misses the green there, he's perfect on the red that's closest to the black. This is a thin one to the left corner, and these type of shots, if you miss it, more often than not, you leave the red over the pocket.
Well, he potted it. I'm just looking where the next red comes from after the colour. And I'm not taking this black as a given. Good pot. But always was the problem. How do you get on the next red?
24.
Taking it on, far right corner. What a pot! What a pot that was!
32.
So up for the blue and angle required to go into the pink.
33.
It's not the best angle. He may have to go off two cushions, lots of top left-hand side. Try and get into the pack from the left-hand side of the table. Not sure if he can go directly into the pink, with power anyway. Yeah, that was always going to be difficult, even with Judd Trump's Q power, to bring reds out.
38. Judd Trump 38.
Not the best safety shot. He's put no pressure on Ronnie here at all. Ronnie with his hand on the table, expecting to play a better safety than that. Well, he hasn't. Caught the safety much too thin.
Foul on the miss. Free ball. Judd Trump 4.
So, free ball, brown available.
Brown ball.
Not sure if he can hold for the blue. May have to come down the table for black here. Yeah, well played. Excellent pace. Yeah, all Judd Trump can do is keep potting balls, try not to make any unforced errors, and see where it takes him.
No.
Yes, and it has to be said that today is the best he's played in this match. You felt for him yesterday.
16. $17.
No, little cannon. Well, that red just to the right of the pink. Well, he's playing a run through. It must be an easier red to get on. If you can avoid the cannon, you will. There's always a risk.
24.
But the reds couldn't be better placed than just a couple of reds, couple of colours away from securing the frame.
25. $32.
This red and a colour to get to snooker's required.
33.
And one of the reasons I said he needs to play perfect snooker is because I believe the first chance Ronnie gets to win this title, I think he'll take it. So Judd is going to try and delay this for as long as possible.
I
think he'll need to pot this red to stop Ronnie coming back to the table.
$39. $46. $47.
Playing with a nice freedom.
$52. $53. $60. $61. $66. $67. $74. $75. $82.
It's been wonderful stuff from Judd Trump.
$87. $91. $96.
So the pink for the century. Superb, superb. Circumstances considered, superb. And a bit of naughty snooker to finish it off with. That's the type of frame he needed. And that's the one he got. He's hanging on in there. 4 behind.
He sure is, John. It's not a done deal yet, is it? That is the 109th century of this championship. It's a record breaker as well, superseding last year's effort of 108. And I think that's really what this championship deserves, guys, isn't it?
Yeah, another fabulous century and great character from Judd Trump as well. I mean, everybody's coming out thinking it's just a procession, let's get the crown on the king, but it's to show that character. But I think he's working on the principle at the moment, Steve, of if it's round, he's going to have a go at it.
Well, I mean, you know, there's been times when players have reeled off frame after frame with big breaks to keep their opponent off the table. It feels like that's the only way. It's the only thing he's got to, if he can possibly keep Ronnie in his seat. But you always feel like once Ronnie gets to the table, even if he hasn't got a clear-cut chance, he puts you under severe pressure safety-wise as well. So Yeah, maybe delaying the inevitable, but he's doing his job so well. After a really tough start, he's got back into this a little bit.
He has indeed, and it's worth remembering that in the final of 2019 he reeled off 8 in a row, and you were mentioning earlier on, John, against Stuart Bingham in the quarter-final, 5-8 down, reeled off 8 in a row there. Anything is possible with this young man.
Well, it's the nature of the game as well. We've said it numerous times through the championship. If you've got the cue ball and the other fella hasn't, he's sitting in the chair. Nothing he can do, and if he starts knocking long balls in all over the place and playing like that, you know, okay, it's a mountain and a very high one at that, but he's still in there.
But the relaxation of this nothing to lose attitude, how does it change your perspective on a match?
Well, it comes into the equation. It's always harder to get over the line when the other guy's got nothing. You feel that he's a bit more dangerous. So, you know, Ronnie will be aware of that. But as was said in commentary, you know, you feel like he only needs one chance and he will convert the chance. Wherein lies the problem is when all of a sudden you get a chance, you don't convert that chance, and then you start to dig a hole for yourself, and then it seems like the inevitability that the guy's going to get back to you. And that seems to be the storyline that does happen a lot. But it doesn't feel that that's always the case with Ronnie O'Sullivan, because he's as hard as nails.
He is. Another chance. Frame 31.
Thank you. Thank you. The 31st frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Ronnie playing safe, but once again, he's not found the baulk cushion. And a little shake of the head.
Is on. Ronnie coming around to see if the black is available to left corner.
One.
It's okay, the kissing the blue, because there's a red in between the black and the bunch, just separated from the bunch of reds that does go to the right corner. It's going to need a good cue ball to get on it properly. And good cue ball he's got. Now if the black does go to left corner, this is a chance.
Yeah, I think we couldn't tell whether it went before because the angle on the red was to play up for the blue. Well, he's not on the black. And I don't think there's anything to go at. Too risky. Just try and find the baulk cushion with this cue ball. He's gone round, have a look, thinking, where would I not like to be?
Ronnie O'Sullivan 7.
It's pretty easy for Judd Trump just to Play the red up and down the table, leave the cue ball on the black cushion.
Good shot. Very accurate. Very, very accurate. Doherty playing the red to the left of the black, Snooker behind the black, but that wouldn't have reaped any rewards. It had just been an easier Snooker to escape from. Yeah, it's a head scratcher. There is a path back to balk. Second red in on the right-hand side, but you'd have to catch it absolutely perfect. There's obstacles in the way. The green, the blue, the brown.
Well, yeah, he tried to pop himself out of trouble, and that's a decent kiss on the yellow. Did well to, when he missed the pot, to avoid all the reds with the cue ball.
Now the second red in that Judd could have played safe off. It is potable. Ronnie would fancy it if he can avoid kissing the red next to it. Taking it on. Well, he couldn't avoid the red next to it. You'd just be pleased to see the red went in. Because kissing the second red, if you missed it, you was leaving the table open for your opponent. Is there a pot to go at?
No, I'm looking right down the line of the shot to the yellow. Yellow's not available, so it'll be another safety shot. Try and glue the cue ball to the baulk cushion. And try and find the spot that's most awkward. Try and not give Judd a path back to baulk.
Ronnie O'Sullivan won.
I'll be a little bit disappointed with the cue ball. It's not tight in the cushion. I'm not saying this shot is easy at all for Judd. Not sure. I can see a return to baulk. I mean, the red that's on the black cushion, you could come off thin the left-hand side of it as we look. But that's such a tough shot. I can't see much else. May decide to take this red on that's down the left cushion. Got to be careful if you miss it. The double kiss. And in the end, he's done pretty well there.
Yeah, I think so. Just it nicely, purposely played cushion first, and thought, well, if I'm going to leave him any chance of a shot, I'm going to make it as difficult as I can. He's done that. Another good safety. Once again, not tight to the ball cushion, but where he's left Judd, he's stopped the safety down the right-hand side of the table. So once again, getting back to balk is nigh on impossible. Well, this red is potable, but I don't think Ronnie will even give it a second look. Well, he is, and he's playing the cannon on the red by the black. He's played the cannon. He's got the pot. He's got the cannon.
Yeah, fabulous pop. And is this the beginning of the end of this match? Look at the reds.
Thank you.
All through this World Championship, it's positions like this where Ronnie O'Sullivan has been lethal. He just hasn't missed. Hasn't left the table until the frame's been won.
9.
Yes, when Judd dropped on that red, I thought he wouldn't give it a second look because I didn't think black was available. When he got down, it was perfect to roll the red and get the cannon. Judd thought he'd got it safe. Now the question is, as he's played his last shot, he'd like to cannon that red he's just grazed by, but he's still got an alternative to the left middle. And the reds couldn't be spread better.
17.
That was a nice little flick on the blue. Just kept him in perfect position. Yeah, it's just about the moment now, isn't it? Composure, that's what it's all about. It's something that he's not lacked. Just taking that extra second or two just to make sure in his mind he knows exactly what shot he's going to play.
22. $23.
I just would have liked to have been straighter on this red.
$31.
And almost a signature Ronnie O'Sullivan shot there. Absolutely perfect right side of the blue.
$36. 37.
Perfectly played cannon. It's there now for the taking.
Yeah, this is when your mouth goes a bit dry. You're just giving every shot 100%. You know this is the moment. You know you're winning the match and the title here, and it's just kind of going through the motions, kind of on autopilot.
$52.
The end is nigh. Snooker's required, and just this black to confirm that. And this will mean an awful lot to Ronnie O'Sullivan.
60. 61.
He knows that you can say the best player that's ever lived, but to do that, you need your name in those history books. And he's going to join you now, Stephen.
Yeah, he's taken the game to new levels. He really has.
68.
The century breaks, the cue ball control, the safety game, the temperament, the killer instinct.
69.
He's got it all. I said earlier in the week it was an honour to be at 7 with Ronnie, and it is, because he plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. He's an artist.
I'll echo that. I will echo that.
72.
Won his first major title at the age of 17 when he beat you in 1993 in the UK Championship, and he would have dreamed of this moment, equaling the great Stephen Hendry's record. He's played it down,
79.
but I know that he will be over the moon.
Thank you.
And just to spare a thought for Judd Trump, he has proved that he doesn't have to pot balls, he's got a B game, and once his potting comes back, it'll be a danger for everyone. But in this tournament, in this final, Ronnie O'Sullivan has proved, without doubt, that he's the greatest player in the world. The emotion's there. He's obviously saying to Judd, I'm sorry you didn't play well, but at the end of the day, it's Ronnie O'Sullivan. His dream to be 7 times champion of the world has been realised. Ronnie O'Sullivan, the Betfred World Snooker Champion 2022.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a final. What a champion. What a family gathering tonight. A hugely emotional moment for the 7 times world champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Lily and Ronnie Jr. are with him tonight. And let me first of all, you can see the emotion in this man tonight. He's done it. He's done it, but not without a fight from Judd Trump. Judd, the noise is deafening here, and no wonder. Our commiserations to you, Judd. But what a heck of a fight you put up in this final. I wonder, particularly this afternoon, the way you came back at him, how much hope did you carry into this final session this evening?
None. Firstly, I just want to say massive congratulations to Ronnie. He's been A pleasure to share the table with him. He's always been so good to me throughout my career, letting me practice with him when I was young, try and learn things off him. So yeah, amazing achievement, and we'll go down best player of all time.
Beautifully said, Judd. Thank you. But you're the guy that's going to be chasing these records in years to come. You're going to be back on this big stage here. And I wonder, can you sum up this man's achievement over the last 21 years? For 23 years, this 7 world titles has been a carrot dangling in front of all of you in this sport. What can you say about the longevity of this fella?
Yeah, he just he keeps getting better and better. I think his determination, dedication, you can see it out there. He barely misses a ball in over the 31 frames. And I think he was the best player throughout the whole tournament by quite far. And I was just happy to make a sort of a match out of it this afternoon, get to the...
I think many of us watching you over the last couple of days, Judd, we wondered how much that marathon effort against Mark Williams in the semi-final had taken out on you. Did that play a part today?
Yeah, I was... yesterday I was quite drained. It just wasn't sort of up for it as much, and then today it sort of came back a little bit, but it was a bit too late. But yeah, it was just it was a joy for me to be out there playing. I give it my all. I just tried to play with a smile on my face, freedom, and I just enjoy my snooker again. So yeah, I think I was wrong when I said I wanted to move from here. I think it definitely should stay at Crucible.
Well said, Judd. Your family are absolutely delighted. They're always proud of you. We're proud of the effort that you put in here. This is a man that said that he wasn't in the kind of form to do any damage in this championship. You should be extremely proud of a run to yet another final, a third one. Ladies and gentlemen, our runner-up, Judd Trump. Thank you. And here he is. Ronnie, you've done it. 7 world titles, and that really is magnificent. Why does it mean so much, this moment?
Pardon?
Why does it mean so much, this moment?
Because, as far as I'm concerned, this fella is already an all-time great. The way he plays the game, just plays such dynamic snooker, and to put up with that pressure for 2 days, even when he's not playing well, you think he's just going to spark into action, so you're kind of having to be on your guard at all times. And I never felt relaxed. Well, I tried to be as relaxed as I could, but you know, it was just that's probably my greatest result I've ever had, to be honest with you, against someone like Judd.
It's been a 21-year journey to get this 7th world title. It's been the carrot, as I was saying to Judd, that's been dangling in front of you and so many others for so many years. How heavily has that number weighed upon you, and who helped you carry it?
It never has, and I've never bothered about records. Don't get me wrong, when you get them, you go, okay, that was kind of nice, but I've never performed well if I'm going for stuff like that. I just try to enjoy the game, compete, enjoy being on the circuit, try and enjoy what I do, and work hard at my game, and then it's sort of like you just let the snooker gods decide what they're going to decide. And this 17 days they were on my side, and but with Judd, we all knew that he wasn't playing his best that he was. But that's what a champion does. They don't play to their best. They get to the final and they still nearly win it. So he's going to be winning this for a few times, and the other guys better get their act together, otherwise he's going to keep going.
Your talent has shone for so many years, but I know that you want to pay tribute to your team, and in particular, Dr. Steve Peters, extraordinary presence in your corner. How much of the success over the last 10 years has he harnessed in you?
Yeah, he's helped me sort of compete. You know, be an all-round professional. I had the talent, I had the game. If I was on, yeah, it was great. But if I was off, I was looking for the exit door, thinking, you know, it's time to go home. You know, because I didn't enjoy digging it out. But I've learned that nobody can be perfect all the time. So just accept it, get on with it. You know, make best with what you got to do, and you just don't know what's around the corner. So it's like a bit of optimism, but it still needs to be drummed into me. I'm kind of, I always feel the worst. So that's my natural state, really. So I have to fight against a lot of the demons, you know. So, but yeah, I'm here competing, and yeah, it was good.
It's more than good. Stephen Hendry says it's an honour to share 7 with you. You've also tonight become the oldest world champion in snooker, and that surpasses your great friend and one-time coach Ray Reardon. Are you happy to share from here on in, Ronnie?
We can share it for a year.
Nicely said. You are 46 years of age, and I wonder how many more targets, how many more ambitions do you have in this game now?
I honestly don't have targets, and I was saying to Robbie back there, I said, you know what, I've loved every tournament this year, even the ones down at Leicester, because it's under the radar, and I just love playing. This has just brought out the worst in me, to be honest with you. I've detached emotionally for the last 7, 8 years. I do treat every tournament like a training camp. I do my gym, do my running. I eat good food. You know, I like to win, but it's not the be and end all. I love competing with the guys. I love being around the guys. But this just brings out the worst in me. So I don't know if it's a good idea, but we'll probably go again next year because I'm a glutton for punishment.
And I tell you what, look who's in your corner tonight. What does it mean to have your dad and your kids here?
Got the 3 Ronnies here tonight, and little Lily. Yeah, he was 4 when he first came here. Little glasses on him, getting the old tongue out.
I remember.
Yeah, look at him, bigger feet than me, more handsome. She's a sweetheart. Grown up, beautiful children. They're fantastic, and yeah, there's the dad as well.
Well, I tell you what.
It's all his fault.
I tell you what, Ronnie, there are moments in sport, not just in snooker, that I think anybody who's in this room and everybody watching at home will say that this has been an absolute honour and privilege to see you achieve this tonight. This is 7th heaven for the Rocket. Mission accomplished, Mr. O'Sullivan. You're champion.
Please welcome your presentation party, Steve Dawson, Chairman of the World Snooker Tour, and Fred Doan, the boss of Betfred. The runner-up, receiving a silver medal and a cheque for £200,000. What a fortnight for Judd Trump. And the winner, receiving a cheque for £500,000, the trophy and the title 2022 Betfred World Snooker Champion, a magnificent 7 for the magnificent Ronnie O'Sullivan. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
And there he is. It's a feeling he's got used to over the last 2 decades, but this one is even more special than the previous 6. Lily and Ronnie Jr. with him here. His dad. It's a family album. And these are moments to treasure, guys. And not just for this family, but for everybody who loves sport. To witness something as significant as this tonight.
Yeah, he's a player for all ages, isn't he? He's the most talented we've ever seen in our sport. And it's his just reward for all his efforts and his hard work and his pure talent. And to be honest with you, he's looked like the winner of this tournament right from the start of it. He's been playing to a level that's been higher than all the players he's competed against. That's why he's lifting the trophy, but he's been brilliant to watch.
Steve, a word from you about the new era. It's an even longer era than that which you ruled and that which Stephen Hendry ruled, clearly.
Yeah, I think there are no superlatives left for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Every player in the game would love to be witnessing what he achieves on the table and be able to do what he does. And I think, you know, the stress levels that the World Championship takes out, you're all magnified there for that moment when he was in chat with Judd Trump. It was, you know, he was in tears there, and that's because it takes a lot out of you, this event.
Yes, well, he's actually managed to equal, of course, the record of the great co-owner of this record now, 7 times world champ Stephen Hendry. Stephen, he says he's willing to share it for 1 year alone. You'll take that, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, deserved win. As I said in the commentary, he's taken snooker to new heights, and I'm actually surprised it's taken him so long to get to 7. That's how good he is.
What's next to go at, apart from an 8th world title? He's done it all, and I wonder if you can compare how you felt having surpassed and usurped Steve's number 6. Where did you go thereafter, and how did you achieve it?
When I got 6 to equal Steve, I had to get 7. So I presume it'll be the same for Ronnie. He'll have to get 8, and I'm sure he won't be happy until he's done that. So that'll be the aim. Simple as that. He's a winning machine. You know, he said he deflects from the records, but he'll want to get 8.
Stephen, he's going to be world number 1 for some time. He came here as world number 1, says getting back there for a 4th time in April this year at 46, one of his best achievements. But in terms of his reign in this game, surely this has got to be the key achievement for him now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the way he's dominated this World Championship from start to finish. It's been an astounding performance. Okay, he may not be put under the pressure, but that's because he's played so well, and he's refused to let people put him under pressure. He's just been wonderful. I mean, the compliments, you can't give him enough compliments the way he's played here.
Well, Stephen, enjoy the next year, and we will certainly enjoy seeing him try to beat this one. You're on tenterhooks, I'm sure, but he's happy to share for now, and that's great. Thanks, Stephen. You've taken that really magnanimously, I must say. Well, what more can we say about Ronnie O'Sullivan that has not already been said? Let's just even widen the focus a little bit, guys. We've talked about his superiority within snooker terms, but in world sport terms, and I know this is a contentious issue with some people, but this guy, as a supreme sportsman, is up there with any of the best that we've seen in any sport.
100%. I think he's the most talented sportsman in Britain. I mean, when you see him play left-handed and the way he can clear up left-handed as well as right-handed, but his touch, everything about the way he plays the game. I mean, very few people aspire. This is Tiger Woods level we're looking at. That's how good it is. You know, you're not talking about somebody who just occasionally does it. This is someone who's got 21 majors, 7 and 8 in all of the 3 big ones, and honestly plays to a level that other players can never aspire to.
Well, it's Tiger, it's Jack Nicklaus, it's of course Rafa Nadal, who's on 21 majors himself. He's in that kind of company.
Yeah, the word genius is bandied around a lot, but he's a true genius of the game. An absolutely superb character our game, and I think he's got an 8th world title in him. He really has.
He has. It's been an exhausting and absolutely brilliant 17 days, sharing it with these guys and the rest of our team over the last 17 days, 180 hours of television, and I hope that you have enjoyed it as well, because we've all witnessed something really special here tonight. It's a target that's been in sport for over 2 decades, and it has been reached in historic style from us all here in the Crucible. Thank you so much for sharing it with us, and we'll catch you again in November. Bye-bye for now.
Ronnie O'Sullivan wins the World Championship.
O'Sullivan has been quite simply magnificent.
Ronnie O'Sullivan becomes the 2008 World Champion. What a performance from Ronnie O'Sullivan. It's not